Testing, testing. Okay, we're good.
Test, test, test. 1, 2, 6.
Mic was off, but I put it back on. I got it right away this time.
That's good.
Hey, we are here to do our week worth of videos.
Okay.
Starting off with movie review.
Yes, the Big Stan movie, featuring Big Stan as Rob Schneider. Or no, it's the other way around.
Rob Snyder as Big Stan.
Rob Schneider as Big Stan.
This came out in 2007.
The plot is very simple. He's a person that conducts fraud and then he has to go to prison and survive. That's a great premise for a movie. Unfortunately, this movie,
Let's Go to Jail did it better.
jail.
Let's Go to Jail,
Oh
the
yeah,
by the people that did
he was Job in
yep.
that one movie. Will Arnett.
Yeah.
Will Arnett. Yeah, yeah.
And Idiocracy.
Idiocracy. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was great.
Let's Go to Prison did it much better.
Yeah. So basically, it starts off with Rob Schneider. He's selling like timeshares.
To an old lady.
Yeah, and he gets arrested. He goes to jail, and he gets convicted right away. And he's surprised that he got convicted because his lawyer. He's like, "Oh, this isn't my fault. This is your fault." He blames his lawyer for losing. Gets a new lawyer. This new lawyer is like super corrupt and stuff. He's like, "Oh, I like you. You're gonna get me out, right?" So his lawyer is able to get him an extra 6 months before he actually has to go to prison. So he uses this time to try to get himself ready for prison because he doesn't want to get raped. Um, so we first see him at a biker bar. Turns out to be a gay bar, but he asks this guy questions like, "Hey, what do I do to not get raped?" And the biker's like, "Well, I don't think I don't think you have a whole lot going on uh, with like looking at just it's because it's Rob Schneider. It's like you don't have a whole lot going here. So yeah, I would probably rape you." And he's like, "No, no, I can't get raped." And he and his wife are like freaking out, and she's just like, and she like kind of inspires him. He's like, "Wait a minute, I came from nothing. I can do this too." So he tries to learn some karate from some karate school. He gets kicked out for beating up on a little kid, and then he meets Mr. David Carradine, and Mr. David Carradine trains him to be a badass, and at this point in the movie, you're like, okay, when can the movie start? When can the movie start? When can the movie start? It's really boring. It's just a montage of him like training and stuff, and then he finally goes to prison. He meets the warden, and the warden is like, "I brought you to my prison because your expertise is real estate and uh, timeshares and stuff, and he wants to turn the prison uh, into a piece of property, and he has this plan." Um, Meanwhile, he's in prison, and because he had the training from David Carradine, he's able to basically beat anyone up, and now he's the main, uh, the big guy in the prison, and then some shenanigans go down. Basically, he sets down some ground rules. Basically, he says there can be no more rape in the prison. Everybody complains, um, but he's like, "Well, if you have a problem with me, you can come challenge me to a fight, and I'll kick your ass." And then nobody questions him, and then the warden is upset because everybody's getting along, and he wants there to be a huge riot. And his plan is to invite uh, these big wigs, politicians, to his prison for an inspection. He wants to impress them, but he plans on causing a riot that will force him to sell said prison and make a crap ton of money. And his partner is like a Vietnamese mob guy, I guess. And uh, so the warden gets angry when he learns that everybody's getting along. So he forces Rob Schneider to make a deal, and Rob Schneider unfortunately goes along with it, and he just abandons his entire thing of not protecting the small people in prison from getting raped. And then during his parole hearing, he insults the lady. He's like, "I want to see your boobs. Let me see your boobs. What color are your nipples?" Kind of thing. So he can get the hell out of there and stop said riot that's about to happen. But instead of rioting, everybody just dances instead.
It turns into a Bollywood movie.
Yeah,
Because,
and then
as you know, every Bollywood movie has a dance number.
yep. And then what happens? Rob Schneider, after he insults the lady who's going to give him parole, uh, he gets back, and right then the warden is like talking to one of his guards. He's like, "Hey, shoot them! They're causing around." He's like, "I can't. They're just dancing." So like a fucking retard himself, like the warden is like, "Oh, give me the fucking gun, and I'm gonna start shooting the people." Because they're causing a ruckus, and then Rob Schneider's there. He's like, "Bro, you have witnesses like right here. These are the people that control what happens. Like, what are you doing?" This is really bad. Um, and then at the end of the movie, the warden is now in prison, and the one of the guards is now warden, and he's about to leave prison. And everybody's getting along and doing uh, moves from the master. And there's this whole like subplot of his wife, you know, learning from David Carradine. David Carradine is taking care of her, and he thinks that she's having an affair, but it turns out she's being trained by him, and he can't. He smokes so much that his wiener doesn't work anymore. Um, and there's another subplot where he's like, "Oh, you're my second best student, Rob Schneider, and the first best student is the Vietnamese guy." And so they have like a quote unquote fight, and that kind of happens. But this movie was not very good, and at the end of the movie, you don't realize why it's bad until the end of the movie, because it's directed by Rob Schneider, and I did not know that before picking this movie. Um,
It did have a pretty decent cast, though.
yeah, David Carradine is a good fit for what he did.
We had
Um,
Rob Snyder, of course, Jennifer Morrison as his wife, Scott Wilson, the late Scott Wilson, Herschel from The Walking Dead,
oh yeah, Herschel from The Walking Dead, of course. How could I forget Herschel from The Walking Dead?
Henry Gibson, which we both thought we knew him from something, but really didn't. Like, I
Yeah.
kind of remember him from Wedding Crashers, but he doesn't have that much big of a part.
Mhm. Um, but yeah, the movie like didn't work because uh, I thought it was gonna be him going to prison like right away and him trying to like survive, but they give him an extra 6 months. He's asked 6 months to train, and now he's just already a badass. There was no growth with his character, like his character did grow by learning how to fight, but once he got to prison, there was no challenge for him except for except I guess for um, the warden. But even the warden wasn't much of a challenge, and even the Vietnamese mob guy wasn't a challenge. There were some funny parts. A lot of it was just kind of dull and lame. But there's a part where he's banning rape, and he's like, "Wait, can we rape the rapists?" He's like, "Yeah, I suppose you could do that." What about the child molesters? "Oh, yeah, you could do that too." Okay. And there's this one guy, this big, huge, muscular guy. He's like, "What about the counterfeiters?" And he's like, Wait a minute, you're the only counterfeiter here. Oh, I see what's going on. You just wanna sleep with someone. Hey, I'm sure someone wants to sleep with you, kind of thing. And then he gets a boyfriend, and now everybody's getting along, and um, basically, like he won. He already won, um, and there's no there's no ramp up of a what's the word, a confrontation
Yep.
at all. It was just you could tell he was just like kind of having fun making this movie. Rob Schneider just wanted to make himself look like a badass, and for the most part he was kicking a lot of ass, um, but also it was just like meh, like you already beat everybody without having to try. There was no like challenger on his level. He never really struggled at all. That's what you kind of want with someone, especially trying to get through prison. Um, like as um, Derv was saying, Let's Go to Prison did a much better job at doing that.
It even had a dance number too.
Yeah, like Will Arnett isn't like constant danger, and there's certain points where like he's threatened and he has to like try to get around without using violence, and he's able to do this in that movie. But there was more tension in that movie. This was just more like a meh.
I just pulled up Let's Go to Prison. This movie.
Yep. But yeah, I give it a 2.2 out of 5. I guess it was definitely below average. There were some good parts in there, but definitely not worth a rewatch. Um, yeah, I mean, it's good that he made the movie. Like it must have been fun for him, and it must have been like good experience to you know, make this movie. Has he made other things? I have no idea. But meh. That's all it was. It was just, even like halfway through the movie, I was like, this movie sucks. The movie's so bad. I can see like people like wanting to leave the movie, um, especially when it's a movie about him being in prison and only half of the movie is actually in prison. So, um, but yeah, I'm done talking about it. If you want to move on or whatever. Yeah, I don't recommend watching this. It was really bad. So,
Let's go on to Detective Conan.
okay.
I accidentally pulled up the. I kept that one up. Hey, we start off with episode. We're gonna do 6 episodes. Detective Conan.
6. Oh my god. That's so many. I can't handle it.
Next week, he'll be introduced to one of my favorite characters,
The Billy the Dead Man.
or main characters. We are starting with episode 41, the Victory Flag tearing case.
Victory. Oh, right. So this was, they're at a baseball game. They're watching a
High school.
high school baseball, and like the dad just uses it as an excuse to get drunk. And like this pitcher was supposed to be like really good, and he was pitched like 7. He was in the 7th inning, I think, and he had like a shutout going. And all of a sudden he looks up and then sees something, and he can't pitch anymore for whatever reason. And turns out that someone cut up the flag, and they were like, "Oh no, someone cut up the flag. This is horrible." Nobody died. Just cut up the flag. Um, and they have to figure out who violated this flag. And then like right after like the game ended, the school was just like, yeah, we're forfeiting this big, huge tournament that um, the school like won the previous year, which doesn't make any sense. But we had the pitcher who was a culprit, the mom who was a culprit, and then um, there's someone else. But in the end, it was the principal who
You
was
mean
just like,
suspect, not culprit.
oh, sorry.
Culprit means I did it.
My bad. Um, yeah, so it turns out it was the principal. He cut up this flag. Turns out he's left-handed. Only a left-handed person could do it the way that they did it, and he had to be like a certain height. Um, and he did it because he viewed school as more important than a sport. And Conan was able to figure this out based on the size of the cut. And like basically what happened is like the the baseball player thought the mom did it, and so he was coming for the mom, and the mom thought the baseball player, but that the baseball player did it, and she was trying to come for him. So there was some miscommunication there, but yeah, principal did it, or vice principal or whatever his name was.
Principal.
Principal.
Literally all it called him, principal.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look,
open and shut case.
if you
Figured
look,
it out. Way
if
to
you
go,
look at
Conan.
the dub, they gave him a last name, Principal Evans.
Principal Evans, Evan Carter, Chris Evans.
That pretty straightforward case. No murder, just some vandalism. And 42. The karaoke box murder case.
Karaoke. Oh, right, this one. So this one was pretty simple. Um, there's this band and they're like celebrating, I guess, or is it New Year's? Is that what it is? I don't know. I can't. No, it's Christmas. Christmas,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
They're celebrating, and then the main guy he's about to leave, and everybody's singing karaoke, and all of a sudden he's eating food, and
it's
he
his
dies. He chokes and dies basically.
his leaving party.
Yeah. So basically, what happened is everybody in the room was a suspect, and the manager was the one that killed him because she was in love with him, but then he's like, I'm waiting for someone to come back, but she got like plastic surgery on her face, and she killed him because she thought he wasn't in love with her, but he was, but he didn't say anything before, so it was like a weird thing. But basically, she put um, poison in his sleeves or something like that, and by his elbows, I guess. So when he took the jacket off, the poison would kind of get everywhere on his hands and stuff, so like that. So
Because the singer had a knack of whenever saying his own song, he'd throw his jacket off.
Oh right, I forgot to mention that. Whatever, it's all good. We figured it out, or I didn't. Conan did. But yeah, so he died from food poisoning, and then she got caught. Cool.
Guy looked like an anime protagonist with that hair though. Spiky blonde.
Mm-hmm.
On to 43. The one that had you questioning the logic. The
This
Conan
is
Edogawa kidnapping
this is the
case.
first. This is the first uh, episode in a long time where they actually talk about uh, the men in black suits.
Yep.
And the
There,
episode starts off
I
with
can
like,
basically say their organization name. It's just the Black Organization. That's what they're called. No spoilers or anything, just by naming them.
okay. Uh, anyways, it starts off where the dad is complaining like, "Hey, where are your parents? Like, where's your mom and dad? They should be here. I should be getting a crap ton of money." And then this random woman comes in. She's like, "Oh, hello, Conan. Oh, yes, you are. This is my son. I am gonna be taking care of you. Here you go, Ron's dad. Here a sack full of money for taking care of my son." He's like, "Oh yeah, no problem," because he sees the money. Um, but then she gets him into the car, and she mentions like, "Hey, I know who you are, Conan. You're not Conan. You're what's his name?
Shinichi.
Shinichi." Um, and Conan freaks out, so he tries to run away, and he then eventually gets captured um, by her. Like he runs away, and she catches up with him and ties him up. Now he's in his house, and she's talking to this masked dude, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we need to spread these new pills and stuff like that to other places." So he escapes from his bindings, and then he hides in this little storeroom, like below in the floor, and he almost gets caught, but he doesn't. Then he is able. Then they go try to go look for him, and then he like follows them and tries to investigate. He almost gets caught, but then this kid like opens this door, and he's like, "Hey, I'm a cool detective from space." And he's like, "I don't believe you. I'm gonna call the cops." He's like, "No." He pulls out his like voice changer, and he does different voices, and the kid's like, "Oh wow, you actually are from space. That's so cool." And he's like, "Yeah." So he tries to infiltrate the place, and he gets shot, but it's a fake dart, and both the people take off their masks, and he realizes that the whole time it was his parents. And Conan's like, I thought I was gonna die. And his parents are like, "Oh, but you didn't, and we were just testing you." And I'm like, "What the fuck kind of parents do this? What is wrong with you?" There's something there is. It's absolutely. It's borderline. No, it is not borderline. It is psychotic. Absolutely psychotic that they would trick and they would trick Conan like this. And what's even worse is that his doctor friend, scientist friend, was in on it the whole time.
As a big wall of a
And
man.
he's just like they're just like laughing at him like, "Ha ha ha ha! You thought you were gonna die," and he's just like, "Ha ha ha! Yeah, I did." But he was in the end he kind of failed. He got really far. They're like, "Oh, we think that you got farther there." That, but you got farther than we thought you were gonna get. Um, but yeah, we were here to test you, and now you can go. We're gonna go keep doing our own thing, and you go back with Ron and her dad, and keep investigating. And they
Now,
know all about the.
originally they wanted to take him with them. Originally their plan was to take him with them, but he convinced them not to.
Oh, okay. Well, then he does that, and now He's trying to keep doing investigations and crap. So yeah, Parents of the Year, definitely.
This episode we are introduced to three characters. The Night Baron, which is Shinichi's dad's, uh, who's a writer, character from his book. Yusaku Kudo, Shinichi's father. Then his mom, who's an actress. And this is also where we're introduced little clips at the end of every episode, just kind of tying in or just being a final laugh. With this one being Shinichi getting his revenge on his parents by letting reporters know that they're going to be on a plane. So they get bombarded by reporters.
Was it a plane or a train?
Plane.
Plane? Oh. Okay.
And now on to the next one. Uh, Episode 44, Three Hada Siblings Murder.
Oh, right, this one. This is the one where they find this guy on the side of the road. And he's like, hey, can you drive me to my villa? And, the dad and Ron and Conan are there. And they're like, yeah, of course we can. And they're like, oh, cool, thanks for driving me to my villa. I am this person. He's like the CEO of some company. And he has like 3 or 4 siblings or kids. I can't remember how many. But they're all there to celebrate. Was it his birthday? They're celebrating. I can't remember. It was some kind of celebration. They were doing. But at a certain time, he goes to watch his favorite drama TV show, and he gets murdered. And they find his body like a half an hour later. They're like, "Oh my god, this is horrible!" And like, it's funny because like they're in a snowy place, and all the kids decide to like leave at around like the same time. One wants to go skiing, one wants to go to the store, and another one takes a bath. Um, and they conclude that someone in the house did it, and they got to figure out who. And at the murder scene, Conan figures out that he named all his kids based on shogi pieces, which is like chess. And there's this lighter that was on the couch that wasn't part of the scene, and so the murderer moved it, and it turns out that it was one of the daughters who killed him. It was the daughter that went to the store who killed him, and then there was also this other daughter, um, who like 5 years ago she broke ties with her dad because of something that happened, and it turns out her fiance like died, or he killed himself, and she blames the dad because it basically was his fault. Pianist, and he stepped on his hand. You can't do that if you're a pianist. Um, and it also turns out that the caretaker um, was the father of said boy, and it was he that wanted to. Oh no, or is that another one I'm thinking of? I could be mixing them up. This is the one with the caretaker or without.
I don't think there's a caretaker.
Okay.
Or no,
well,
there was. There was.
there was a caretaker.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So he didn't do the murder, but he was just like, I'm so glad someone murdered this person or whatever. Um, so the daughter did it because she. Why did she do it again? Epic pause. I know. Um, it was a while since we. Anyways, she did it, and then um, the caretaker like cut the brakes on a car because um, he blamed the girl for her son killing himself or whatever too. And so he's like, yeah, I'm gonna kill this girl, but she was warned in time about this car. But why did the daughter want him dead? It was over a loan or something, over money maybe. I can't remember. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Conan solved the case, and he was able to do it because that's what he does. And sorry for the non-professionalism, but what are you gonna do? You can watch the episode yourself and figure it out, or watch the synopsis of it, or get our opinion. But we failed you on that. So, all right, we can be done with this one, unless do you remember
No.
what her motivation was?
I tried looking it up and I couldn't find it.
Oh, okay.
Next
You
one.
didn't give me no money. I could be mixing some of them. I think I am. To be honest, I think I am mixing this with another one.
Next one is the facial mask murder.
Oh, this was a fun one. So it cuts to like these guards going running into a house because they're like, oh, someone tripped the wire, and this woman pops out with her face on, uh, face mask on, like the skin face mask to make you more beautiful and shit. Um, and she's like, oh, nothing happened, and then later on, there was a dead body found, and the this this woman died, and there was like three suspects. Um, one that Ron's dad ran into, uh, the daughter, and like a business partner. And long story short, um, the daughter is accused of murdering the mother because of money issues. Like she was gonna cut her off, I think. Um, but then because of the weird mask part that happened, um, there there was her the woman's contact fell out and it was in the killer's pant cuff, and it turns out this other guy that was at first you think he's not guilty of anything, is because the person who died gave him money to invest, and she told him what to invest in, and when that failed she blamed him and she said she was going to sue him, so he killed her by strangling her, and then a mask, one of those weird masks, was put over her face to cover her wrinkles from strangulation. Um, but yeah, this one wasn't bad. But when she mentioned like, yeah, I gave you money to invest in something and it failed, but now I'm gonna blame you and sue you for it. Yeah, I would have fucking killed her too. Like, bruh, like, what a dirty move. Like you want me to invest in this thing with your own money? Okay, you told me what to do, and now you're blaming me for it. No, that's gonna ruin my credit. How about you ruin your own credit? Like, screw you, lady. Yeah, but everyone had a motivation to kill. Oh, and the other guy's motivation was she had some like he was like embezzling money and she had was blackmailing him. So next one.
The last one, Alpine hut in the snowy mountain. No, this is the one that we
This
already.
is the winter
Yep.
one. This is the one with
Yep.
the. Yeah, I knew
Yeah.
it. I knew I was mixing them up. I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah, this was the one with the siblings. The one that, the one before. That.
What?
Because, yeah, this was the one with the caretaker.
This one.
Yep.
Wait,
This is the
so
one I
what-
was looking at.
Is this the shogi one?
No, that was the.
That was the other one.
Yeah, this is the one with the where he's watching the show.
Oh. Oh, this one he got shot, and the other one. Other one was
No, he got
he
exploded.
it was exploded.
Yep.
Oh, the other one was the wine exploding.
Yep.
Oh, right. The other one was a wine exploding. Okay. So the wine exploding one, uh, it turns out, yeah, the caretaker killed him, put in fertilizer, And when he went to open the wine case, there was a chemical reaction and it exploded. Um, yeah, and that was because of the caretaker's son, right?
Yep.
Okay. And then the girl that was bestranged, head of the bestranged dad, was like, "Oh, I'm glad I didn't do it, but I'm glad he died." Okay. Yeah.
Maybe you should start taking notes.
No, I don't need. If I start taking notes, I'm just gonna make it more complicated than it needs to be. That's what usually it is. But what was the other one? What was the last one?
That was, or the last one was the snowy one.
The snow one.
Yep.
Oh right. Does it say like what her motivation was?
I was trying
She
to
went to
look.
buy treats, and instead of buying, she already pre-ordered the food, so she didn't know like how much they were, and she went and murdered him, and her alibi was going to the store. And then one guy went skiing, the other guy took a bath or something, and she killed him because she was getting cut off or something, like financially. I think that's what it was.
Uh,
Oh no! It was a medical thing because the guy was a doctor.
yep.
Yeah, he was a medical doctor, and she wrote a paper on cancer or whatever, and he was just like, well, if you write it, nobody's gonna notice it, but if it's in my name, people will actually listen to it. So he stole her paper and took the credit for it, and so she killed him in the most brutal way possible, which was stabbing him, person in the lungs, and it takes a while to die. You just suffocate um, that way. And in that time, he was able to um, make a makeshift chessboard and point to what piece, because he named his kids after
Chess pieces.
chess pieces. Okay, figured it out. Suck it. When did he do that?
This was years ago. He's just now updating
Oh, got
his
it.
Facebook.
Oh, he just did that? Oh, good.
Okay, now let's move on to One Piece.
Cool. This is perfect timing because I totally forgot my notebook for One Piece. I thought it was D&D day today. But we're just gonna be talking about the Reverie anyways.
Yeah.
So
We're only gonna cover Reverie.
it's about 10 episodes.
Yep.
Um,
Next week we're gonna
start
start
Wano.
Wano.
And I did start Wano, and I'm just a handful of episodes into it anyways.
My
So-
advice: just watch as much as you can, because it is very lengthy.
Yeah, well, I'm on. Once I got to the filler episodes, like I was watching one after the other, I was like, oh, okay, another one, and then this filler episode was just like so boring. It's taken me 3 days to watch an episode because I'll watch it for like 5 minutes and be like, all right, I need to watch something else. this is so bad.
And Mulcat's gonna for sure join us for the end of it, because he said he wants to.
Okay, that works. Anyways, about the Reverie. So, basically, for those who don't know, the Reverie is a thing that is held at what is it called? Mary Joie?
Mary Joey's.
Mary Joyce. It is the center, is basically the center of the world if you are the world government. This is where all the celestial dragons are. So all the leaders that are signed onto um, the world government, all these countries, are allowed to come here, and they discuss what is going on in the past 4 years and what they need to do. Because they can't really communicate with each other because they're all busy, you know, overlooking their own countries and dealing with what's happening in the country and stuff like that.
So we
So
have Cobra from uh, Alabasta, Neptune from Fishman, and Riku from Dressrosa, Delton from Drum Island, and Wapple from his own island.
his new country that he made.
And those are
It's called like the Dark or the Evil Drum Island or Dark Drum Island.
those are really the only ones that are, and Kina Elizabeth from Dressrosa as well. Those are really the only ones that we had been introduced to before.
And then they introduced a couple more. We just kind of see the leaders, and one of the guys just looks like Abraham Lincoln. I think it's based off of America because his name is President Hamburger.
Yeah, he's the chairman.
Yeah,
This guy.
Abraham Lincoln.
I am sharing my screen.
Yeah. What a God! That's such a terrible name. It's so bad and so obvious. God damn it. It's like walking in Japan and be like, oh hey, I'm Samurai Steve. I'm totally a samurai. this is what one. This is what a Japanese person looks like. They all know karate and can wield a sword and all that shit. And every American president, it looks like Abraham Lincoln.
Which reminds me, since we're gonna be starting Wano next week, sometime next week, we should watch the 103, 103 Damnations, which is like a prequel to Wano. It's like a standalone episode.
Okay. Alright, sounds good. Anyway, so the Reverie, basically, all these people from different nations are just gathering, and the one person that we know that is there is Shelly or Selly. I can't remember his name. Um, it's Sabo's. Oh, there it is. Right next to Wapple, to the right of Sherry. Sterry, that's it. Sterry, he was the kid who was adopted. Um, now I'm blanking on the guy in Blue's name. Sabo, there we go. Um, Sabo's adoptive brother. Sabo, quote unquote, left, or he got killed or whatever, and then Starry took his place. And Starry's an evil bastard, and all he cares about is himself. And he's like, oh man, I want to be a celestial dragon and own slaves and all that garbage. And so he's there for the first time, and they're explaining it to him. Like, he is the lens that the audience gets to experience of being there for the first time. So he's told they get up to the top, and he's scared of, falling over. He's just this giant pussy. He goes up to Garp. He's like, hey, I'm the leader of your country. You're from the land of Goa. You should bow down to me. He's just like, Garp's like, I don't give a shit about you. Fuck off, dude. And he's just like, oh, you didn't do what I said. Oh, jeez. And like how he became king was the previous king and queen, quote unquote, mysteriously died like 6 months ago. So he obviously has something to do with it. And he's basically willing to do anything to be a celestial dragon. And one of the important things is when we follow him is he goes to this place called the Empty Throne, and it is the throne is empty for a reason. It was basically the first 20 countries threw down their weapons and said, we're not going to have just one leader. It's going to be we don't want a dictatorship. We want everyone to be equal who is a leader of a country. And that was the beginning of the world government. That's the lore behind it. So we get that, and then another thing that we find out is when the fishmen come up, they're also introduced to this device called it's basically a moving walkway. I forget what they call it. Starts with a T. I can't remember what it's called, but anyways, it's a thing that you just stand on it. And it's like a flat escalator kind of thing, and everybody's like, "Oh, this is so impressive," and then the King Neptune is like, "Something feels off about this," and so they go to the forest instead because Shirahoshi wants to go see the forest. Um, but we find out that below the ground to make this path move is a bunch of slaves, and one of them is like, "Oh, please just fucking kill me. Like I don't want to be here anymore. Just kill me. I just want to die." Um, which is like the dark reality of what the celestial dragons are. Like they have slaves and shit. Um, and then I think it's Saint Nicholas, the guy with the guy that got punched by Luffy, in
Yeah.
episode around 400 ish.
It's,
He should be there.
he is not part of that.
It's like Saint Nicholas or whatever. He sees Sirahoshi and he goes, "Oh look, I found a you know a fish man. I want to capture it." So he orders his slave, his giant ass slave, to go capture Shirahoshi, and there's nothing anyone can do. And King Neptune is just he's ready to punch this guy. That's his daughter. Like they were invited there, and there's nothing anybody can do to stop the celestial dragon
Saint
from
Charles.
Saint Carlos.
Charles
Carlos.
with his CH.
Yeah.
So Charles.
Isn't that how you spell Carlos?
Carlos is without an H. Carlos is Carlos.
Hey, if you guys want to settle this debate, leave a like down below, and tell us if it's Carlos or Charlos. Please settle this debate once and for all. We can't decide between ourselves.
While you're at it, settle the debate on if it's Ace or Ash.
That was settled. That was settled many moons ago. We know it's ass. Anyways, so Saint Charlos or Carlos. We'll figure that out later. I'm gonna call him Saint Carlos. Anyways, Saint Carlos with an H. Saint Carlos. I'll say that Saint Carlos with an H. He decides to capture Shirahoshi in front of everyone who's attending this peaceful diplomatic time, the reverie, and he doesn't give a shit. He's just like, "Oh wow, it's a new slave, a new toy I can have." He just doesn't give a shit because he himself is a piece of shit. And that's not even coming close to the amount of words I want to use for this motherfucker. All right.
Should go back to the realm that Luffy punched him in.
Yes, that's
the manga realm.
Like in Black Mirror, how you can constantly put someone in a constant state of something. He needs to be constantly punched so he can feel that for the rest of his days, even if it's digitally. Anyways, oh, my pants falling down. All right. Well, where were we at? Oh yeah, Shirahoshi. She's getting captured, and King Neptune's about to punch this motherfucker, and he's like, "I'm sorry, Otohime, but I can't stand this any longer." And they get interrupted by Rob Lucci and Kaku and Aegis Zero, and they're like, "We can't stop. These are gods. You can't say no to gods." And at the very end, another celestial dragon. Maybe this is Saint Nicholas. Saint Nicholas, he comes in and he stops everything. He actually punches Saint Carlos with an H in the face, and Saint Carlos is like, "Oh, I got hurt! Ow!" He's just a little bitch that doesn't know fucking anything. He's a fucking man child. Anyways, so, and then he apologizes to the celestial dragon, apologizes to King Neptune about what just happened. He's like, I will protect you, and this is like the big thing that happens at this place. It's it's really tense, like in a good way. Is that Trey Parker? Oh, that's basketball, right? Or maybe that's something else. I don't know. Anyways, I thought that was Doctor Who. If you scroll up, with Trey Parker and the other guy, that guy on the left, he voices Gear in Static Shock. Anyways, sorry, we're distracted because my co-pilot here wants to look at memes, and I get distracted by it too. I mean, you can look at them, but I'll get distracted. So, where were we at? Oh yeah, and then also all these people know about Luffy. Everybody's told, oh, don't talk about Luffy. People will look at you weird. And then you have Vivi talking about Luffy. You got who's that little warrior guy
Um,
from Dressrosa?
yeah.
Stabby? No. Oh, I'm blanking on his name. Anyways, he's that tiny little warrior guy. And then who else? Shirahoshi. They're all talking about him. And then was it Drake from Drum Island? Or they changed the name.
Dalton.
Dalton. What was the country called?
Sakura.
Sakura. Okay. So they changed the kingdom to Sakura Kingdom. They're all talking about how great Luffy, and then the little guys is like, we're subordinates of Straw Hat Luffy. They're like, no, you can't say that, man. They got Mancherry on there.
Yep.
But where's the other guy? Where's the? Oh my God, we are failing with the names here. That's what happens when you forget your notes, guys. Leo. Okay, there we go. Leo. He's like, oh yes, it's great that we're on Luffy's side, and they're all like saying how great Luffy is and all that stuff, and they're getting ready for the Reverie. Everybody's getting together, especially after this incident. A lot of people like leave the courtyard, and then they basically start the meeting. And then we have they're called the Big Five, the top five leaders of the Celestial Dragons. They go to the empty throne room, and some masked figure in a super dark cloak climbs the top of the empty throne and sits on it. And they're all like, all right, Mr. Person that's in charge, what do you want us to do this time? What history do we have to erase this time? Kind of thing. It makes you go, oh my God, and that's like the end of it. It's pretty sick. But there's a lot of stuff going on in the background that the heroes do not see. They're not part of this. But the President Hamburger is in charge of the meeting, and then they also have a secret meeting of the Celestial Dragons at the top. Also, this is also very important. The Revolutionary Army is planning on declaring war, so they basically are infiltrating the castle at Marjorie.
Mary Jouise.
Mary Jouise, or Jouise French. So they make it hard to say anything in French. But he's like infiltrating the castle, and then they see there's a scene where Kuma is being ridden by one of the Celestial Dragons. It's Saint Carlos with an H's dad, and he's like, yeah, I was able to rent Kuma. He's like, oh man, I want to rent that slave and ride it. And this pisses off Sabo so much he's about to attack him, and the other subordinates, the other captains, north, south, east, and west, have to stop him from attacking. He's just like, hey, don't worry. Is that Moxie? Is that a cosplay of Moxie, or just AI?
I assume it's cosplay.
It's actually really good. And yeah, like I didn't know, but we all know that Kuma is not alive anymore. All he is a machine because of Dr. Vegapunk and all the PX. Was it PX1s?
The pacifistas.
Pacifistas. Yeah, they he was transformed into a robot basically, and so he has no memory of anything. He can't do anything. So they're now using him as a slave to like ride around and shit. Um, and the Revolutionary Army is planning to declare war on not the world government but the Celestial Dragons themselves, which is a very very important distinction, um, to declare it on that, because if you're declaring on the world government, then that means you're declaring war on all the countries. But no, he's just declaring war on the problem with the world government which is what the Celestial Dragons, who believe that they are um, they are literal gods when they're not. So uh, that's pretty much what happened in the Reverie. If you guys have any other things that you want us to talk about the Reverie, I think pretty sure we covered most of them. Um, Leave a like, otherwise Luffy is gonna knock your teeth out.
I do have one thing to mention. Since you mentioned hamburger being uh, just like the U.S., every single uh, leader of countries that we haven't already been introduced to is actually named after or like food or stereotypes of countries in our world.
Yeah.
Like we have tacos.
Oh right, the Mexican guy. That was like I was like that is the most like stereotypical thing. Like it's like taco maker, taco stand or something. It was just like what?
Then we have beer from Russia.
Beer from Russia, yo.
And then we have stroganoff.
Who's Stroganoff?
It just showed like a manga picture. I don't think it
Okay.
actually showed him in the anime. We have Jeep.
Jeep. Okay.
I was sitting here laughing, just looking at all the names. Moron, from Morocco.
She looks like a moron.
Um, lemon cheese.
Lemon cheese. Wow.
Uh, yeah.
What, did an 8-year-old come up with these names? Like, what the hell? Oh, what do you know about Mexico? Tacos. What do you know about Russia? They drink. I would have loved if they called it vodka instead.
Then we have ramen.
Ramen from Mongolia. Mongolia or China? It was invented in Mongolia.
Chinese. It says.
Or it was invented by a person from Mongolia. It could have been. He could have like been traveling and went and invented it in China.
Then we have samosa.
Mimosa? Samosa.
Samosa.
Oh God, what the fuck?
Yeah, all the just random names are either food or stereotypes from countries in our world.
Yep. Like, even King Neptune, that's a stereotype too. Like, fish are. Like, people thought Neptune, the planet Neptune, was a world filled with water and stuff. So, but it's not. It's just made of gas.
We even have Ferrari.
Ferrari. Oh, I wonder what country he's from. If you guys don't know, he's from Italy.
Yeah, Italian manufacturer Ferrari.
Yep. A lot of stereotypes. Love it.
In the stream, you got to see me click on every name while you're going through it and look at what countries they're from.
Mm-hmm. Over 170 countries. But I don't know if all of them made it because I think it's just a choice to go.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are affected by Luffy, so they all want to go and represent Luffy. So Luffy has a lot of support. from all the people he's helped. Dressrosa, Sakura, um, Alabastia. Uh, I don't. What was Neptune's place?
Fishman Island.
Fishman Island. I think.
Or Ryugu Kingdom.
Oh, there we go. Ryuki Kingdom.
Ryugu.
Ryugu Kingdom, and then the One Punch guy.
Isabella.
Yeah, Elizabella. So he has at least 5 countries that like him. There might I don't know. There might not be any more because no, I don't think so. But basically he'll have a lot of like good support, even though he's a pirate and stuff like that. So, which is pretty crazy. And I like how. So I like this show, this anime or whatever.
No wonder why this guy looks like a vampire. He's from a country inspired by Romania.
Romania, Transylvania.
Yeah.
Nice.
He looks like a vampire, doesn't he?
Yep, he is a vampire. Anyways, what was I saying? I like this anime because like sometimes you'll be in a scene where people are introduced and you're like, oh, that's kind of ridiculous. That's kind of ridiculous. But then you turn around and look at the heroes and you go, wait a minute, the heroes are ridiculous. They're totally part of this world. And that's like, I'll give you a round of applause, Mr. Icho. Whatever your name is.
Oda.
Yeah, Mr. Oda. For building a world where even our heroes aren't weird because everyone's weird in this universe, which is pretty great. Like, oh yeah, what would happen if you saw Zoro for the first time? Oh, he's a mighty warrior. Oh yeah, he doesn't have any sense of direction, but do you know that? If you're just introduced and you'd be like, oh, that's weird. He has weird things, weird tendencies.
Hey, let's move on to the last part of the night.
Okay.
Podcast.
Oh, right.
We can try to make it quick. I don't have much.
Yeah. My phone died, so I'm like, I don't know what time it is.
It's 10:40.
10:40. Oh yeah.
Hello and welcome. We're now gonna do podcasts. Let's just go right into movies, since we've been streaming for a while. First off, this week we have 28 Years Later.
Whoa. Yeah.
Which I am gonna probably see on Tuesday, and I've been waiting for this for years.
28 years?
Yeah. Or no, not 28. It's been like 10 since 28 weeks. Starring Jodie Comer, Aaron Taylor Johnson, and Rafe Fiennes. I'm definitely seeing it, as I said.
Who's the guy in the original? What's the name again?
Cillian Murphy.
Cillian Murphy, yeah.
He is returning in the next one.
Have you seen
It's
Peaky
already
Blinders?
confirmed.
Have you seen Peaky Blinders?
I have not.
Oh, that's a really good show.
Cillian Murphy it's also confirmed that he's returning to the next one. Not this one, but the next one.
Yeah.
Somehow he survived.
He was sleeping in this one. Like, he was just probably in a coma or something.
Somehow he survived the zombie or the infected apocalypse for 28 years, because it's not really zombies.
Yeah. Everybody's infected. It's a different
Yeah.
thing.
And then we have Brideheart starring Rebel Wilson. I'm probably not going to see this. It looks shitty.
She's not very funny. I saw that Bridesmaid movie and I was like, oh, look, they're going to go to Vegas and they're going to get, like, totally effed up. And then they're like, oh, no, we're just going to pass out and not go to Vegas. And I was just like, you guys, you can't tease it.
Then we have Pixar's Elio.
Pass.
Yeah, I don't typically
care.
watch
I'm
kids'
not a child
movies
anymore, so don't care.
Then we have Everything's Going to Be Great, starring Bryan Cranston.
Well, that spoiler, everything's gonna be great. So we don't
Bryan
need to watch
Cranston,
that. We don't need to
Allison
watch that.
Janney.
Everything's already great. So
It's a comedy. Then we have Familiar Touch, which is apparently lovely.
which is really really creepy. Familiar touch. Mm. Oh, are we going to see your uncle you haven't seen in about 30 years? Yeah, that I don't want that familiar touch. No, no
Then,
thanks.
then we have found footage to make into the Patterson Project.
I don't know what that is, and I don't really care.
It's the whole the Bigfoot.
Bigfoot hoax thing.
Yeah, the video and stuff like that.
Sure. Okay, pass. Don't. I wouldn't want to watch that in theaters. Maybe if it's like free or something like that, and I'd be like, oh, okay, that sounds kind of interesting.
Crew of documentarians chronicle an amateur filmmaker's quest to try to make the world's biggest found footage horror film.
Yeah, I figured it was that.
Then we have Inside, starring Guy Pearce and Cosimo Jarvis. It's an Australian prison drama.
He's gonna pierce your soul with his stare.
And then we have K-pop Demon Hunters, which I know I've mentioned before.
Pass.
Then we have Marley and Marta, Not Alone Anymore.
Oh, you'll be alone when I don't go see the movie.
It's about a deaf actress.
Yep, now she's double alone because I definitely want to see the movie.
And then we had a re-release of Brokeback Mountain.
Oh, hey, this is your chance to see your final Jake Gyllenhaal movie that you haven't seen yet. He loves Jake Gyllenhaal. He wants to see all his movies except this one. Hey, if we get 100 likes on this video, we're gonna make him go watch that movie, Brokeback Mountain. Not just him, not me. I want 100 likes for him to see Brokeback Mountain. Editor, if you want to like put this into like a confined thing and make it a short video, us talking about this, we're gonna get 100, maybe 1,000 likes. Okay, to get this guy who loves Jake Gyllenhaal to finally go watch Brokeback Mountain in the theaters. And we'll probably record him walking into the theater saying, "I won ticket, please."
Even though I don't even need to do that since I get
We're
my
gonna
tickets.
follow him into the theater saying, "1 ticket, please, for Brokeback Mountain." 1,000 likes, and we'll make him do it.
Hey, moving on. TV show news. Next week we have Squid Game season 3 coming out.
Oh yeah.
And then also July 3rd, just a reminder, Dawn to Dawn comes out. And I just found out that same day Sandman season 2 comes out.
Mr. Sandman?
No, it's based on
Is he gonna bring you a dream?
Based on a Neil Gaiman graphic novel. I showed you the first episode.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream.
The first season was really good. I'm really looking forward to season 2. They even announced, which told me when it's being released, that Jenna Coleman is returning in season 2 as Van Helsing's granddaughter. I forgot her character name other than that she's related to Van Helsing.
Her name is Becky. Becky Borio Williamson. Daughter of Van Helsing.
Then Alice in Borderland in September. Gen V season 2 in, I think it was October.
Fallout in December. Should have been the summer. This one was in the summer.
For anime, I didn't really see much other than one thing that really kind of tickled my fancy. The newest Detective Conan movie, A One-Eyed Flashback, has become the 19th all-time movie in Japan.
Wow.
I wish that it was to come to U.S. theaters because I really want to see it because it look just by the poster and the name, it looks like it's gonna finally explain some stuff about a side character.
Cool.
Because you don't know any of these characters up
Nope.
here.
Not at all. They're all stupid looking to me.
You just
Especially that
know
one, and that
him,
one, and that
him,
one, and that
him,
one,
her,
and that one,
him,
and that
him,
one, and that one.
her.
They're all stupid looking. I don't really care. All right, it's my part now. Sports. Well, Game 7 for the NBA Finals is going to be on Sunday. So if you're interested in that, watch it. I don't know what's happening in hockey. Don't care. Baseball is just middle of the season. We're probably around halfway through at this point. Um, and then for the game I've been watching, I started watching Command and Conquer um, on YouTube. This guy called Kakaskia. Very interesting way he hosts it. Um, when he introduces himself and says welcome, it's very annoying because it gets really loud. But other than that, he explains what's going on with the different troops and what he's doing. It edits it very well, but he makes it entertaining to watch this. It basically Command and Conquer is in the distant future. There's a meteor that strikes, and there's this new resource that appears called titanium. No, not titanium. That's an actual thing. Uh, oh shit, what's it called? It starts with a T. Anyways, uh, trichondria or something. And it's this green resource that's lush with different kinds of minerals used to build things. However, it's very toxic to plant life and humans. Anything carbon based is very toxic too. So this resource lands, and there's this um, uh, the Global Defense Force or Initiative (GDI). They're the quote unquote good guys, and they're here to stop terrorist organizations. And this one terrorist organization is called Brotherhood of Nod, and they're like, we need to do evil things because we need to do glorious things with this new resource that came to Earth and blah blah blah. So you could have two different campaigns, and um, it's actually very entertaining to watch someone else play it. Like I couldn't play that myself; I get too frustrated. Um, but Command and Conquer, like what I want to get to is the Command and Conquer Red Alert, the thing with the Soviet Union stuff, the stuff with yes, you guessed it, Tim Curry. Yeah, he's in there in some of the, I don't know which ones he's in, but I know he's in the third one for sure, probably the second one. And I saw some little clips on YouTube a while back, and I'm like, I am intrigued. What is he doing? And they just like it's like they hired Tim Curry and just said, go, just say whatever comes to mind, and we'll put it in there. Whatever comes out is going to be good. Um, but that's what I'm watching right now is Command and Conquer. So that's it. We're done. Shut up. I hate you all.
Join us next week
Love
for
you.
the start of Wano. More movies. Probably initial reactions to Squid Game. If
Yep.
but not like a full review, just I'm sure we'll each have seen an episode by then. And Wednesday for Danganronpa Part 2.